Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, John. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, October 12th, 2022. Kevin and John are joining you today. And if you're joining us on Facebook, thank you for being here. We're going to talk a little bit today about some unique topics. Kevin and I love to share information with you. Kevin is with Alcova Mortgage. I'm John Polston with the Memory Group, brokered by eXp Realty right here in Williamsburg. We want to bring information to the community to help them make smart decisions when it comes to real estate and avoid costly mistakes. So Kevin, you've had a chance to do some really cool things here with some investments locally, and I would love to have you chat a little bit more about what you're doing with your personal real estate portfolio. If you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about that, I'll just turn it right over to you. Tell me what you got going on with real estate.
Sure. Like many folks, I have invested in real estate. I have a career in real estate. I believe in it. And as you know, many folks invest in things that they know and understand, like stock market and currencies and all of that. I understand the real estate business. So I have short-term rentals. So I've always wanted rental properties as an investment. An obstacle to that has been down payment. On a rental property, you do have to have some skin in the game. It does require a larger down payment. Typically, you're looking at a minimum of 20 to 25% down on the purchase of an investment property. Now, there's certainly some ways around that. A lot of folks will start buying a house to live in, maybe live in it for a year or two, and then move up, convert your prior property to a rental or something of that nature. So there's definitely some creative strategies to do it, but my wife and I saved, and we got into short-term rentals, almost by accident. We purchased our first one in the mountains, and simply because one day my wife surprised me with a trip to the Virginia mountains, and we stayed in a short-term rental. I don't remember if it was Airbnb or Verbo, and we just absolutely loved it. And we sat down and looked at what we were paying to rent the place for, I guess, a long weekend, and we were like, wow, this could be really profitable. We could do something like this.
Yeah.
So we just started looking. It took us probably at least 6 months, if not longer, 6 to 9 months of just visits, driving back and forth out to the mountains, and made a couple offers, and not all of them stuck. But then we did make one on a very unique property. And it's a bunker built by a prepper that we turned into a very nice home on the side of a mountain. Wow. And converted it to a short-term rental, and it immediately took off, and we've been hooked ever since. So it's we've been adding properties, and we look for stuff first and foremost that we love. We want to fall in love with it. We want to be excited by it. Someplace we would want to stay, and someplace we do stay. That's a big part of it is, we want to stay there and make sure everything is perfect and guests have a fantastic experience. With short-term rentals, a lot of folks are really getting interested in it. Everybody sees it as a money-making opportunity, and it can be. But as more people get into it, then that's more supply. And we often talk in our chats about supply and demand and price and basic economics. So demand for short-term rentals is increasing. Hey, it's a great way to travel, spend some time as a couple, a family, even individuals, outside of a traditional hotel where you can have your own kitchen, you can have your own space, you have your own bedrooms. So it is becoming more and more popular, but the supply is increasing faster than demand with people jumping in.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to have people jumping back out reasonably soon because it is work. With a long-term rental, once a year, maybe once every couple of years, you have to spruce up the house, find a new renter, etc. With a short-term rental, you're working it, probably every day. marketing it, responding to inquiries, taking care of guests, making sure cleaning is done. You have to have partners for cleaning and such. So it's not hey, I'm going to just buy something and sit back and collect the dollars. It's a job, it's work, and you can get help and you can automate a lot of it. But just, don't go into it thinking it's just simple and easy and you're not going to have to work for it.
Right.
But for those who are interested and are willing to provide exceptional service to your customers, focus on a great guest experience, it can be very rewarding financially, and it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then you've got a great place to go visit when it's not rented.
Yep. You mentioned a couple of things that make me think of the word leverage, and that word leverage applies, in several cases of, acquiring the property. You use leverage where possible so that you're using somebody else's money to make the purchase. But then you can also leverage your time and leveraging other people's resources, such as those folks that can help you maintain the property. But those things do have some cost elements to it. So it's something to be thoughtful about in the planning. And I think that's awesome that you guys got into it by simply having the exposure of staying in one, and then found that desire and interest in actually acquiring it and doing it yourself. I am a huge fan of real estate investing. I love real estate investing. I think that it is an avenue for personal wealth growth. I love what you said too about, it's not something that you're going to necessarily dive right into and get rich overnight. I think that anytime you're making an investment in whether it's real estate or anything, you should be thoughtful about how you plan it. And you guys obviously, you found some unique properties, and that seems to be a little bit of a matter of interest here with short-term rentals. Are all of the properties that you have particularly unique, or are there some that are more typical?
We want them to have some sort of wow factor.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, this is really cool. Because no matter what the competition does, no matter how many other homes become out there, with anything, if you provide a great experience and something really awesome, the people will rent it. People will come and enjoy it. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
So we've got actually 2 bunkers, but the latest was, those are most unique. But then our latest was just on the James River. So it's just an amazing view, private beach. So that is not necessarily a unique property, but definitely has a wow factor to it.
Yes, for sure.
But you mentioned leveraging, a great place to find down payment right now is in your current primary residence. So, home values have been shooting up. So you can tap into that equity and use it as down payment to purchase an investment property. And now's a great time to start looking because the market has slowed a bit and there's a lot more purchase opportunities out there. Okay. So financing doesn't have to be an obstacle. Down payment doesn't have to be an obstacle. There may be some funds you may have somewhere that we may not even realize.
That is a really great point. So if somebody wanted to do that and they had equity in their home, they could refinance and tap into their home equity as a line of credit, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Absolutely. And we did that. Our home value skyrocketed. So we went and got a home equity line of credit so we could get another property and renovate it. And that property will pay back the home equity line of credit. Yep.
I think that's quite brilliant. That's quite brilliant. And we as Americans, we have in our whole economy, there is more equity in our households across the whole economy than we've ever had. And homeowners have a lot of equity right now. And there are more homes that have 100% equity than we've probably ever seen, which goes into part of the whole economic factor of this is one of the reasons why we're not going to see a downward pressure on real estate pricing, is because there's not going to be a forced inventory of foreclosures. And that's something that people have been looking to have happen. And that's another reason why the economic foundation that we're in right now is completely different from the downturn of 2008. But this real estate investing opportunity is one that a lot of people are paying close attention to. So Kevin, it's great that you have this experience with that, and I really appreciate your sharing a little bit more. May have more opportunities to talk about these things, and we get into further calls as well. Would love to see if anybody has any questions about these. Anything else that you want to show? Oh, I had a quick question. So here in the Williamsburg area, you've run into this, I'm sure. Tell me about some of the limitations on short-term rentals, if you can kind of shed some light on that.
Yeah, you definitely have to check with the locality when you're shopping. That's absolutely one of the more important factors to consider. So your city or county is going to have rules and regulations. A lot of it in like the Williamsburg historic triangle area are pretty tight. So you may want to consider outside of that if you don't fit into their box. So yeah, it's definitely a consideration. I know, like even down on the south side, Virginia Beach is pretty restrictive. You can do it, but it's only certain properties and a lot of very specific guidelines. So that is a very important factor in considering whether or not a property is a good fit.
Yeah, and that goes into the economic plan for that community in which you may be trying to buy the property. Is there may have restrictions on how to use these properties, because again, it's a tourism-based area. Williamsburg's a tourism-based area, so is Virginia Beach. So there's going to be limitations on the usage of properties for that type of thing, because you're competing against hotels and these large investment properties that are an important part of the whole tax makeup and foundation of these economic places. Awesome insights. Well, Kevin, it is a pleasure again to have you chat with us this morning again. I need to let you get on about your day. If anybody has any questions and wants to know more about short-term rental, would you be willing to chat with them about kind of strategies that you might be able to share with them about that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to chat and share what I've learned. And if you're looking for mortgage and financing help, I can help with that as well.
Absolutely. Kevin is your Alcova mortgage guy, and he is a great resource for financing your home purchases. And my name's John Polson with that Memory Group and the eXp Realty here in Williamsburg. If you have any questions about real estate or mortgages, you can leave a message in the comments section or message us privately. I'm going to make sure Kevin's information is in the description. And I will let Kevin go. Kevin, I don't know, we haven't done a dad joke this morning.
Hey, John, a skeleton walks into a bar and says, "Hey, bartender, I'll have a beer and a mop." Skeleton, yeah. I figured that was a good Halloween-y one.
Yep. Perfectly suitable. All right, that's awesome. All right, with that, we conclude.
Hey.
All right,
yeah. Have a great one, John, and we'll talk soon.
All right, you too, Kevin. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Everybody have a great day.